within the school, I have this title, this sort of grand title of school culture. Culture being codified in its best, in its simplest form, as the way that we do things in an organisation. You might say it's the repeated behaviours, the accepted norms that take place within an organisation. So it's what happens every single day. It's what we repeatedly do at Cowan Court School, and my job within the school is to support the thinking behind that. Now, I'm going to start off the assembly with that sort of positioning, and a quote from Aristotle. Now, Aristotle, the Greek philosopher, he talked about the importance of habits. He put great store upon that in terms of what he looked at in terms of the development of a man, development of the great characteristics of a man at that time. And he would say that you become what you do repeatedly. Any person is a creation of their repeated behaviors. And the behaviors, the habits that you continually perform, are the little building blocks that turn you into the sort of person that you then are seen as by everybody else and the sort of person you actually are. Now, so much of school is preparatory. So much of school is about setting foundations for you as adults. And therefore, so much of what we do within the school is to try and repeat behaviors and insist upon behaviors and operations for you, not just because they're things that we want you to do right now, but because we're very conscious and deliberate about trying to create you a space where you can be very, very successful as adults. So we're thinking now about these young people with great potential, and we're always thinking about what a Cowan Court student should be when they leave at 18 and they go out into the wider world, and making sure that you have as many opportunities available to you as possible. Now, what that therefore looks like in our school day is that school is busy. And this week, just as an example, within our school day, we have Year 11 mock exams taking place. It's Monday on when I'm recording this message. And the first exam today, the history exam, took place this morning. Year 11 lined up. They looked beautifully smart in their uniform. They were very attentive. They went into the exam hall and they were doing their mock exams. And then on the far side of the hall, we had a Year 13 maths exam. Sorry, a Year 12 mock exam, I think it was. Maths paper as well. And there was something quite profound, I thought, about sitting there and seeing our Year 11s on one side of the hall and our sixth formers on the other. Both of them at key points within their lives, a threshold moment over the course of this year, as they do the essential steps that they need to undertake in order to set themselves out into the world and be as successful as they possibly can. But then there are other things this week that are all part of that sort of segued Cowan Court journey. So we have the exams, but also this week, Mr. Malby and his team in the sixth form, and members of the senior leadership team and other members of staff are conducting sixth form interviews where we're looking at applicants for next year's Year 12. We're very fortunate because of the hard work that our students do and the hard work that our members of staff do, that we have the most successful academic sixth form in the city. And as a result of that, places are very sought after. We've got literally hundreds of people applying to become Year 12 Cowan Court students next year. And we go through a process, an interview process for that. We have our Year 9 options launch, which is this week. The Year 9 options evening is next week. That is when our Year 9 students, who are all about making good choices, think about the choices academically that they're making towards their career aspirations. There's a process, a guided process, which is undertaken for Year 9 alongside the Year 9 team, alongside Mr. Mohammed, Mr. Davies, Mr. Malby as the sixth form lead as well, in terms of thinking about students being on the most appropriate pathways towards them having a really aspirational future. We have the Year 8 academic review evening on Thursday, where parents are invited into the school and we look at the academic progress and achievement of all the students in Year 8. We then have those wider things that the school is a hub for, such as vaccinations. And then also on the horizon, literally on the horizon, the physical horizon, is Block 1, our new front of school. And in the background, we have a number of operations that our site team and our site manager are leading on, where we get that move inducted. It's a house move is a big job. A move into a new building and school is also a big job. But there's so much taking place. But all of those things take place and they are aligned with this sense that they are all actions around you. And they're all actions around you guys being in a position where you can have a really strong and a bright future. The best possible future that you can possibly have. Now, because it's the sixth form interviews this week, I wanted to think about that and ask everyone to reflect upon that whilst you're listening to me. Now, Mr. Heel speaks quite often about the difference, the singular difference between Cowden Court and other schools in the city. And in our school, we understand that it's not good enough to just be academically successful. You must be as academically successful as you can be, but it's not good enough to only be that. And there must be more to you as a young person than just your grades. So we think about you as a whole child, as a whole person. And the whole point of coming to this school is to develop you as an entire person, not just a solely academic one. Now, what that means is it means that we want to think about these questions here. And these are questions not that I've just pulled out of midair. These are questions which are questions that came from a university when they were looking at their interview process. And I gathered that because my son my eldest son is now nearly 19. So he went through this process and he's actually got a job, and he's got a job as a degree apprenticeship instead of university. But these are the questions that were kind of directed at him when he was trying to get into a Russell Group university. Now, this first one is this idea of what makes you different, what makes you stand out. Mr. Malby talks about a competitive edge that you need to have as a young person. And what that means there is when they're doing sixth form interviews or university interviews or job interviews, there will be many people who arrive with similar qualifications and they arrive with similar backgrounds. But what will make them stand out is the attitudes and the experiences that they bring alongside that. So you need to be in a position that you can separate yourself from other people, even if you've all got exactly the same qualifications. And you need to demonstrate that because you have a record of experiences and events that show that you are self-motivated and committed, academically capable, but also socially capable, someone who is able to work a room and hold a conversation with other people, someone who's got a clear set of where they want to be, a future that they want for themselves. And that doesn't need to be so specifically clearly defined, but it needs to be that you've got a sense that you are aspirational for yourself and want you to be really good in a particular thing. So whether that's in a particular industry or just in terms of training that you want to have had, you should have a clear sense of direction. I'm doing this now to take me to somewhere else. And what we would talk about that is a bright future. You need to have something more than the academic curriculum. And we look to encourage you to do that. In fact, we look to specifically facilitate that for you. Year 7, for example, have all performed in front of an audience because we do the Christmas concert. And in the Christmas concert, we have Year 7 all join the choir and they all sing. And therefore, outside of the academic curriculum, all of those students in Year 7 are able to write or talk about their ability or the fact that they have performed on stage in front of hundreds of people. That's something outside the academic curriculum. But it's not just that. It's the broader experiences that we offer within the school, such as Duke of Edinburgh, such as actors coming in to perform Macbeth, such as ski trips, sports, music lessons, so many, a plethora of things that are outside the curriculum. And they are things that you need to access as best you can to show that you are what's described as being a fully rounded person, a whole person, because that is the whole point. Now, a mention that we talk about is this mention of Cowdonian, and a Cowdonian, like the epitome of a student that we want for our school, this thing that we're driving you towards, are people that are demonstrated here. So this academic success, able to demonstrate that they've done more than that, they've experiences beyond the classroom, able to demonstrate that they motivate themselves and take responsibility for themselves, and that sometimes means accepting you didn't get it right, but you will always aim to do better next time. And then this final thing is somebody who understands their place in community, somebody who understands their place in the legacy of the school. And therefore that means this idea of service. You do something which is not just to the benefit of you. You do something which is the benefit of the wider community. And acts of service can be small acts. They can just be the genuine, authentic daily kindness that we would encourage you to exhibit. Or acts of service could be much bigger things in terms of the organisation of charity events. And not everybody does everything, but everybody should be able to demonstrate that they've taken the opportunity that our school offers you in order to do something. And then that makes you a whole person, a rounded person. We have a circle here because it's a whole person. And that is the whole point. You all have great promise. And we want to take a child with great promise. And we want to support them to convert themselves into an adult with great character. Now, at Cowden, what this looks like is a journey. Every single year, we think about the personal development experience, the academic experience. And when we're talking that, we mean what you are taught in each of your academic subjects year on year, and how that knowledge builds upon itself, and how it is assessed, and how that ensures that by the end of year 9 you're GCSE ready, but you get the best academic outcomes you can at the end of your GCSEs, that you are really prepared for sixth form if you're going on to sixth form, and equally when you finish sixth form, that you are a young person who is adept to go out into the wider world and be a successful independent adult. All of those things are part of the Camden journey. And this sense that runs all the way through that is your ongoing responsibility to improve yourself. And you do that through learning. Fundamentally, the more that you know, the more powerful a person you become. And then because you are knowledgeable and you are powerful because of your knowledge, what you are also able to do then is be independent and take responsibility for yourself. You are not dependent upon the ideas and opinions of others. You're enabled to make those ideas for yourself. You stand up for yourself for what you believe in. You stand up for what is morally correct. And therefore you go out into society and you make it a better place. Your personal contribution, your presence in society, whether small or large, creates a much better place for everybody else. Now, dependent on the year that you are in, the focus is slightly different. And with the year 9 options process, for example, it's about personal responsibility and decision making, and understanding that what you need to be doing is taking ownership of what comes next for you. You've got to be taking ownership of the options choices you choose, the future that could potentially lead you towards, and what you're doing right now, and accepting that that is essential in order to platforming you towards that. So, as a basic example, you take responsibility for your behaviour so that you are learning, so that when you're starting your GCSE courses, you are equipped with the substantive knowledge that you need pre-GCSE in order to access the GCSE course efficiently. Because a GCSE course, as our year 10, 11 students are able to tell you, is 2 years, and it is one course over 2 years. And every single day that you attend is essential for that, because you're taught something then which you will be examined upon as you go through towards the end of that course. And our year 11s are being examined upon that right now, doing their mocks. Now, a few final things then. So what does that mean in terms of what you expect from us? Well, it means that actually we're going to do the things that you would normally expect me to talk about. We raise the stakes. We ask you to be more than perhaps you know of yourself. We expect you to be more than perhaps you believe in yourself to be. We need to see you as more than the person that you are now, as the future person that you could be. And to do that, we do raise the support. We walk alongside you to enable you to be successful. But it also means that we have to be warm and strict, kind, not nice, insistent with you, not punitive, because we want you to be built differently. We want there to be a sense that because you come to this school, you do stand out. You do have that competitive edge because of the values that we have here and the hard work, the kindness and respect that we insist upon you every single day, that you are somebody that feels entitled and enabled to take yourself into any situation and be successful. Feel that you deserve to be there upon merit and that you are able and capable to be successful if you work hard at whatever it is you choose to do. And that means we do that through the key drivers of the school. Those drivers you hear us talk about, the key drivers of hard work, kindness, and respect. And hard work is such a crucial foundation for that. And you do that winning every day. You do that by taking control of the things that you can control and expanding the influence that therefore you have and shrinking the things that you cannot control that concern you. So you come to school on time. You come to school equipped. You participate in your lessons. You don't just sit there. You think hard. You work hard. You accept that life is hard and there are difficulties that will come your way, academically or socially. But you also accept that there will be opportunities that come your way as well. And then what you do with those opportunities is you grasp them and then you work hard with them. There will be many doors that open to you in your life. You should walk through as many of them as you possibly can. And if some shut, you just go through a different one. And every time you go through a door and you take an opportunity, you work hard at it to see if it takes you somewhere else. Because where we want it to take you is towards your best possible future. Now, this starts now. It starts today. And it starts through hard work, kindness, and respect. Thank you.